Well, as you can see, the big Mercury Pro XS is in the garage this week for a very good reason. You're in for a big treat. Chad Ferguson is our resident catfish expert, and he's got a technique to teach you in the next half hour to catch blue catfish that I can pretty much assure you you've never seen before. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
It's time now for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southeast region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors Sports South.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Fox Sports Outdoors Show. I'm Chad Ferguson, filling in this week for your host, Barry Stokes, and that means one thing. It's catfish time again on the Fox Sports Outdoors Show. I own and operate a business called Catfish Edge. I operate charter services in North Texas and also provide a variety of resources and products for catfish anglers to go out and catch more and bigger catfish. You can check out more information about me and what I do at catfishedge.com or through the Fox Sports Outdoors homepage. I'm on Lake Ray Roberts today in far North Texas, just south of the Oklahoma border, and I'm going to take you out and show you a technique to catch blue catfish that you've probably never heard of before. It's pretty unique, it's kind of weird, and it's really gross, but it'll put fish on the end of your line and it'll work anywhere across the region if you'll apply these techniques. We'll also have all the latest fishing reports from around the region. So while I go out and get set up to see if we can't catch some of these blue catfish, let's go out to the FSN studios for the weekend planner.
The Salooner tables are very optimistic about fishing action for the Easter weekend. Saturday's conditions are listed as some of the most promising of the month, with peak times occurring early in the morning. And Sunday is projected to have good game fish activity, with the best times beginning at 11:25 a.m. and 11:48 p.m. The sun will rise at 7:12 and set at 7:49. And evening skies should be bright with a full moon on Saturday. Stay with us, we have all of your fishing updates from around the region on the way. Plus, I'll return with Bassmaster Elite Angler Skeet Reese to help us with this week's Ask the Pro question.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Tracker Boats. It's more than just a boat, it's a tracker. By Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there. By Mercury Marine, official outboard of Fox Sports Outdoors. And by Lowrance Electronics. Find, navigate, dominate.
Now, like I said before, this is kind of gross and it's really unique, but it works and it will flat out catch blue catfish. Comorants spend their days flying around eating shad, and they have very poor digestive systems. So in the evenings and at night, they go and they roost in this timber, and they spend the evening and the night dropping partially digested shad into the water. Well, this is just like a natural form of chum, and the blue catfish and channel catfish will flock to these areas. What I'm doing is just using my trolling motor to very quietly move through these bird roosts up in this timber, watching for signs of active bird roosts, not only looking for birds up in the trees, but also just looking for signs of where they've been roosting. And I'm fishing with a round weighted foam float and a treble hook baited with punch bait, and just casting my bait right up around the base of these bodearc trees, up underneath the limbs where I see signs of the birds roosting, and I'm pulling in blue catfish just almost every time that bobber hits the water. Comorants spend about half of their time, or all of their time, swimming around eating shad. They eat about 1 to 1.5 times their body weight every day. Boy, he's putting up a tussle there in shad, and they have really poor digestive systems. So they go in the evenings and roost in large groups. There we go. Ah, it's blue catfish. They roost in large groups in the evening, dropping that partially digested shad into the water, and the blue cat flock to those areas where those cormorants are roosting. So that's where I'm fishing today. That's a nice blue catfish there. You know, certainly good table size fish. You can catch all kinds of fish this size all day long.
Hey folks, Captain E here with your Carolinas Report, this week brought to you by Marshall's Marine. Located in Lake City in Georgetown, South Carolina, we're your bass boat leader since 1969. For all your nitro and bass tracker needs and for family-friendly fun, visit www.marshallsmarine.com. And I'm going to concentrate a lot on freshwater today. Let's talk about the upstate around Lake Keowee, Lake Jocassee, Lake Hartwell. The bass bites are great. The fish are starting to move up into that 10 to 30 foot of water. They're in that pre-spawning mode, and watch as the temperatures over the next couple days are forecast into the 70s. We'll see the water temperatures rise. You'll see those big females start moving in and getting on those beds. Get out, look for shad. You find the shad, you're going to find the bass right now. They're feeding hard. Get out with anything that can imitate a shad, and you're going to have a great day on the water targeting the largemouth bass. Brian Tyler of Johnsonville, South Carolina, had an unbelievable bag of 42.3 pounds fishing the Cooper River in the SC Bass Federation tournament. That's an incredible bag. It's the new record, and Brian had a fish at 10.27 pounds for the largest fish in that bag. He was releasing 6 and 8 pounders all day. Also crappie in South Carolina and North Carolina. We're hearing of some huge fish, 3, 4 pounders. I was up on Santee fishing with a good buddy of mine, Captain Joe Dennis of Santee Cooper Charters, and we had a great day releasing several fish in the 3-pound range that were pregnant females in there getting ready to release those eggs. Get out with a chartreuse jig or shiners, and you're going to have a great day targeting crappie right now in your normal areas. Also, the catfish are there. Get out with some good fresh shad or herring, throw it on the bottom, let it sit. The big blue, the big channel's there, ready to fall for your tactic.
In case you just joined us, this week's show is being guest hosted by our resident blue catfish expert, Chad Ferguson of Catfish Edge. He's showing us a very unusual method of catching blue catfish. In fact, it looks like Chad's got one on right now.
All right, there we go. Caught another one. So what I'm doing is just casting up around the base of these trees with punch bait or stink bait and a bobber. And I'm just flipping these baits right up around the bases of the trees and up around the limbs where these cormorants are roosting. I throw it up there, let it sit for just a few seconds. And if I don't catch a fish, sometimes I just kind of pop it a couple times, give it a little movement. If I don't get bit, then I pull it in, cast again. Make a few casts around that tree and cover it really well. And more often than not, with very little wind and the tree full of these roosting cormorants, you're gonna catch catfish like this blue catfish right here.
This portion of the show is brought to you by the state of Mississippi, where fishing fun is year-round and where the Mississippi Gulf Coast offers some of the best inshore angling and offshore adventures anywhere in the world. So start your fishing trip in a true south, Mississippi. In Alabama, I was talking to Patrick Garmison, who's been fishing Mobile Bay and the Mobile River, particularly the Theodore Ship Channel. He's catching trout very deep, using very, very slow retrieves with grub jigs, 1/4 ounce to 3/8 ounce grub jigs. Sometimes he's using live shrimp deep, but fishing very slowly. He says a mixed bag of trout, you'll catch a real nice 3 or 4 pound fish, and then you'll catch a number of undersized ones. But if you stay with it through the day, you can catch a nice big bag of trout. And there's also some redfish and some small flounder mixed in, and that fishing is going to get continually better as the water temperatures warm and the bait schools become more active and the shrimp start to show up. In Mississippi, the fishing has been very good for big trout around the barrier islands. Wade fishing is good when its water temperatures are nice and warm and the sun comes out. You can catch them on bait and jigs, but some of the guys in the know are using mirror lures, MR17s and MR27s, fishing them very slowly, a lot of jerky retrieves, and then let them settle. This is a suspending bait, and it's deadly on trout. It's not too soon to start looking for cobia in Alabama and Mississippi. These fish should be moving from the east, and you'll first hear about them over in the panhandle of Florida, and they'll be moving along the coast, and they'll be around the offshore oil structures, and these are nice fish. Some of these fish are going to go 30 to 50 pounds, and sometimes bigger than that. Over in Georgia, the big news is whiting. There's plenty of whiting along the surf, and they're also in some of the lower sound areas. Altamaha Sound has been very good for anglers fishing dead shrimp on the bottom. Whiting are wonderful eating. It's a great family activity. Also in Georgia, the nearshore reefs are holding plenty of sheep's head. Some of those fish are 8 to 10 pounds, and lots of black sea bass, and they're catching them all on fiddler crabs or dead shrimp on the bottom.
Thanks for joining us for this week's Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi freshwater fishing action. This report is sponsored by Liberty County in scenic coastal Georgia, a perfect spot for hunting, fishing, and outdoor adventure. Escape the ordinary and visit Liberty County, the right blend, www.libertycounty.org. Now, water temperatures have now reached a 53-degree level, and this has sparked the white bass to begin running up the rivers above Georgia reservoirs. Some of the best of these are the Flint River above Lake Blackshear, the Oconee River above the impoundment of the same name, the Coosa River upstream of Weiss Lake, and the Etowah and Little Rivers above Altoona Lake. These fish move in big schools, and once you find them, the action can be fast. Places to look are the sandbars on the inside bends of the stream, also around mouths of feeder creeks. Now, the white bass are usually accessible from the shore as well as from boats. Females are going to top out at about 3 pounds each, while the males will run about 3/4 of a pound each. Good lures to throw are jig and grub combos or minnow-shaped crankbaits. Keep them small, and gray or pearl are good colors for either. Another seasonal fishery you can take advantage of right now is for spawning red ear sunfish. These red ears are bedding right now on Gant Lake in South Alabama. This 2,747-acre reservoir in the Conecuh River is shallow, sandy, and has a calcium-rich bottom that produces a lot of vegetation. In turn, that produces a lot of snails and mollusks, which the shellcrackers are going to feed on. The best region to look for the beds is the north shore of the impoundment. Once you find these weeds and the beds, toss out an earthworm along the edge and hang on. Also, bedding shellcrackers can be found in Trace State Park Lake near Tupelo in northwest Mississippi right now. The place to look for the fish here on this 565-acre impoundment are the coves on the 2 western creek arms of the lake.
On the PFAs, we intensively manage the lakes. And what we do is, when the water quality is off, we can lime the lake or fertilize the lake to increase the productivity. And what that does then is it produces better small fish and a great population of the predators, such as largemouth bass. All of our public fishing areas offer excellent bass fishing, but there are a couple that stand out for trophy bass anglers. One would be where we are today here at Paradise Public Fishing Area. Another would be up near Eastman, and that's Dodge County Public Fishing Area. It's produced many trophies over the years. And then a lake that's coming into its prime is QM Gillis Public Fishing Area up near Dublin. Another great opportunity for trophy bass is Panic Pond on Silver Lake WMA. It's been intensively managed for trophy bass. One of the best times of the year if you want to target trophy bass is the spring. The March, April, May window is when most of them are caught. And they're in shallow, they're moving in and then moving out during the spawn. And so what you want to do is look for spawning areas, flats, shallow areas, and then you want to fish adjacent to those to try to catch fish that are coming or going. Some of the better lures for the trophy bass are big plastic worms, big swim baits, jigging pigs, and buzz baits. Most anglers are just going to want to catch bass, not necessarily trophy bass. And those are real susceptible here in the spring. And a lot of the lures that work well for them are floating worms, Senko type baits, unweighted, where you're just fishing in the shallows, fishing around shallow cover, and you can catch numbers of fish. Small crankbaits are another good bait, and small spinner baits. You can cover water, and you can catch some lots of fish on our public fishing areas.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. By Lew's, setting a new standard of fishing performance. Feel the difference. By Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland Lures. With our baits, a good day of fishing is in the bag. And by Stren Fishing Lines, the standard of dependability.
The technique for catching these blue catfish under these Comorant roosts is very simple. going to show you some footage of some of the catfish that I caught early this morning while I'm walking you through this. What you're going to do is bait up with prepared bait, or stink bait as many people call it. I'm using a punch style bait today, and cast this bobber up around the trees and under the limbs where you find these roosting cormorants. Let it sit when it hits the water for 10 to 15 seconds. If you don't get a bite, then pull it back in, cast again, and really cover the water underneath these trees really well. And more often than not, you'll catch a blue catfish almost immediately after that bobber hits the water.
When all that stands between you and success in the outdoors are the elements, don't let that be an excuse any longer. I want to introduce you to Stormer, the most comprehensive line of extreme weather gear on earth. Cold, wet, it doesn't matter what it is. Check them out online at stormerusa.com and learn how to not let the elements be an excuse. Hey guys, welcome to this week's Tennessee and Kentucky Fishing Report. I'm going to do my best to tell you where the hottest bite in the Tennessee-Kentucky area is right now. We're going to start in East Tennessee on Lake Chickamauga. I talk about it every week for one reason, because it's arguably one of the best big bass lakes in the country. They catch giants over there, and right now they're shallow. They're as easy to catch as they will be all year. Square bill crankbait, lipless crankbait, A-rigs around the mouths of spawning pockets. Let's go to Dale Hollow, Tennessee and Kentucky here. It's where the world record smallmouth's from, and they're big right now. They're the biggest they'll be all year. So if you can get you a place like a, say a secondary point or a bluff end that a creek channel runs up against that migrates back to a spawning flat or spawning pocket, you stand the chance to catch the biggest smallmouth of your life. Percy Priest is pretty good right now, the upper end of the lake, shallow cranking. Lake Cumberland in eastern Kentucky is it's in an upcycle these days. I talk about it a lot because it's a really good place to fish. The midsection to the lower end of the lake. Find that area where the watercolor kind of changes. The largemouth, smallmouth, and spotted bass fishing is really good. The crappie are around shallow bank cover, and the big stripers, you can catch them on the back of the creeks. It's got some run in on a big hair fly. Let's talk Kentucky Lake for a second. Find places where you've got chunk rock or gravel. And if you can find those places that are adjacent to a spawning pocket or a spawning flat, square bill crankbaits, lipless crankbaits, and a single swim bait are accounting for some big catches right now. Guys, the weather's beautiful, the flowers are blooming, the turkeys are gobbling. We'd love to see you on the water in Tennessee, Kentucky.
There we go. Just hooked into another one. This doesn't feel like it's quite as good a fish. These fish, you don't have to have a lot of specialized equipment or a lot of real fancy gear to catch these blue catfish like this. It's very, very simple. I'm just using a 7'6", there we go, 7'6", medium heavy action catfish rod. This is actually my rod that I designed, Chad Ferguson Signature Series catfish rod from Whisker Seeker Tackle. I've got a bait cast reel, 50-pound braided line, and I'm just fishing with a traditional round weighted foam bobber and a treble hook and punch bait. I don't have anything else on here, not a swivel, nothing else. And I'm just casting up around where these birds are roosting, letting that bobber hit the water. Usually right when it hits the water or a few seconds later, we'll pull in a fish. One thing you want to make sure to remember is that this is not like traditional catfishing where you're just going to put the rod in a rod holder and let it sit all day. You want to make sure you have a rod that is light and comfortable enough that you can cast for an extended period of time, and also that it's got enough backbone that you can really horse these fish out of this timber quickly without getting hung up.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Exide AGM Marine Batteries. Starts like new, stays like new longer. By Motor Guide Trolling Motors. Introducing the XI5 for ultimate boat control. And by Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time now for the Ask the Pro question, your chance for advice from professional anglers. This week, Justin wants to know, does spraying odorant on a lure really increase the chances of catching more bass? For the answer, we checked with Bassmaster 2009 Classic champion, Skeet Reese.
So here's my take on scents for bass fishing. I'm a firm believer that scents will help the average angler put more fish in the boat. So for me, it's Berkley Power Bait. And what it does, it allows a fish to hold on to a bait longer. So if you don't have the most sensitive hands in the world and can't feel that slightest little pressure on the end of your hook from a fish grabbing it, that's where the scents are going to help you out. So the fish will hold on to it longer. You'll have a better opportunity to be able to get a good hook set on the fish. Us as trained professionals are supposed to be able to know when we get a bite and set the hooks, but they will help you catch more fish.
Thank you, Skeet. If you have a question to ask one of the pros, go to our website, follow the Ask the Pro link, and send us your information. Now let's find out which big fish photo wins someone a brand new pair of Costa sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week.
This week's winner in the Costa Catch of the Week contest is Michael Cooper of Green Mountain, North Carolina, with a 32-pound striper he caught at Boone Lake, Tennessee, in the far northeast corner of the state. To enter the contest, go to foxsportsoutdoors.com and click the Costa Catch box on the right. Follow the instructions to send in your big fish photo and you could win a new pair of Costa sunglasses. See all the Costa sunglasses at their website, go back to the Fox Sports Outdoors site and click the Costa logo. You can see all the frame and lens styles, including the style that I'm wearing today, the Fathom. This week's Academy Sports and Outdoors Right Stuff is the bait that I've been using today to catch these blue catfish around the Comorant roost, and that's punch bait. Punch bait is a form of prepared bait, or stink bait as many people call it, but it's very thick and it has fiber in it, and it sticks to a bare treble hook. So you don't have to have any dip tubes or worms or anything else on there to hold it on the hook. Just a plain old bare treble hook. I'm using Little Stinker punch bait today. You can find this and a variety of other excellent prepared baits for catfish at Academy Sports and Outdoors. Watch next week, Thursday at 6 p.m. and the repeat airing Sunday at 8:30 a.m. Check the website at foxsportsoutdoors.com for any last-minute changes. You get all the latest fishing news, video, photos at the Twitter feed and Facebook page for Fox Sports Outdoors. You can also get the latest episode 24/7 at the foxsportsoutdoors.com website. See all past episodes, watch how-to videos, get sneak peek previews. Just click on more episodes and video here. If you'd like to get more in-depth information about locating and catching catfish, more about the techniques that I used today, the charter services available, and some of the products I offer, as well as tons of tips, tricks, and information about locating and catching catfish, head over to my website at catfishedge.com. Thanks for joining us again today. I hope that you take these techniques and go use them on your home waters to catch blue catfish. These techniques will work anywhere across the region that there's cormorants and blue catfish if you'll just go out and apply these techniques on your home waters. Barry will be back next week. Thanks again for joining us. And remember, let them go, let them grow, put the big catfish back so they can be caught another day.